From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Well, welcome to the first episode of Talkin Malarkey. Hopefully the first of many. We got Mikey Stack right here, one co-host, Jay Griff, the other co-host, Pat behind there. He's going to be our cat, minus the OnlyFans. Maybe we'll start an OnlyPat.com one of these days.
No, we should get Pat on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
that would be good.
We should get Pat on OnlyFans.
We could probably do feet or something, right?
He would definitely sell it out.
I definitely think so.
Guaranteed.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Dude, not the biggest card, but it was a lot of fireworks there.
Oh, yeah.
I had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good fight.
For a free card, too?
Free card.
For any card you see a major underdog get a stiff knockout, it's a good card.
Against a top 10 contender?
Yeah, an undefeated contender in the UFC, too.
Oh, he was undefeated?
Yeah, in the UFC.
Ooh.
Yep. And the dude, so I was placing my bets, and I put the bet on Dawson by TKO at plus 150. And then last second, I saw Bobby Green walking out, and he looked so calm. And I was like, dude, he's fucking ready for this right now. It's like, I got to hedge my bet a little bit, put $10 on him, cashed out 45.
Ooh.
Yep.
Dude, when he came out to Ski Yee by Sexy Red, I knew it was over. I knew Dawson was in trouble, without a doubt. That was, I still can't believe. I don't know. What do you think about that win? As far as what happens with Dawson, does Bobby Green get ranked?
Well, I thought with Dawson's fight style, that was the only way Bobby Green was going to win. In my opinion, it had to be a stiff knockout, and it had to be in the first round before he got worn out, tired, beat on the ground. And Dawson is a rear naked choke specialist, like nasty at rear naked chokes. But I think Bobby Green's got some decent, submission defense. He submitted Tony Ferguson in his last fight, so I was taking the odds that he wasn't going to get submitted.
Yeah. I don't know what. I just don't. Beating Tony Ferg right now just does not hold a lot of water with me.
Yeah, that's true.
It drives me crazy with this whole El Kukui. I get he was good past before he was great before I started really getting into the UFC. I don't think I've seen him get one win.
Well, listen, they gave him the best fight possible for his next fight versus fucking Paddy the Baddy, who I think is completely overrated trash. I think Tony's gonna destroy Paddy the Baddy and ruin his hype completely.
I do. I think
first round finish. Book it right now.
Clip it. I really do think Paddy will absolutely put the nail in the coffin for Tony.
Yes, because you've never seen Tony in his prime, though. You've only seen.
He's not in his prime.
The first Tony fight because for everyone who wants to know, Mikey became a UFC fan in 2020. He did learn everything fast. He caught up quick. But he's a fucking brand new fan, dude. He doesn't know shit about what's going on here. He's talking about Tony's going to get starched by Paddy the Baddy.
He is going to get starched by Paddy the Baddy.
Yeah. So the first fight, the first Tony fight you saw was versus Justin Gaethje, right? During quarantine, that was that was on Fight Island with no.
And I think that was kind of like the beginning of the end.
He got fucked up.
Yeah, that was the start of the stretch.
He got fucked up, and then after that, he dropped a few straight, I think. So.
Dude, that.
And then the Nate Diaz fight, everyone thought last minute when Nate Diaz got switched to him, that was going to be, this is perfect for them both, Nate doesn't have to fight Khamzat, Tony doesn't have to fight whoever the fuck he was supposed to fight.
Holland?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think it was Holland.
No, they mixed and matched.
Yeah, it was a mix and match. But everyone's like, this is the fight we're going to see, this is the fight we want to see. A lot of people had Tony as the favorite. He still got fucked up. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? And if you can't beat Nate Diaz, I love Nate Diaz with all my heart, but if you can't beat him, you're not really fighting for titles at this point.
No. Well, we can still talk about that Jake Paul fight if you want.
Jake Paul, Nate Diaz?
No, we're not going there. I can't do it.
Well, he did better than I thought he did anyways. I thought he was going to do it.
It was a little rough to start, but, you could tell Nate wasn't invested in that.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell he wasn't.
Well, he's a MMA fighter, dude. He's a UFC fighter.
No, that was a money grab, and he has that, fuck you, I'll fight anybody anywhere, but I don't think he took that fight too seriously. As serious as Jake Paul took it.
Yeah, and he just said he wants to do a rematch with Jake Paul in boxing and the trilogy in MMA, so now it's just sounding like a big money grab.
I like the MMA.
I don't think anyone wants to see that boxing rematch, Nate. Love you, but no one really wants to see it. We want to see you choke Jake out in MMA.
I would pay so much money to watch. If they were going MMA, I'd pay to watch that, 100%. But just to touch on just the few other fights.
Did you see Pyfer?
Pfeiffer, that dude's gonna be a problem in middleweight.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
absolute problem.
He's like tall and cut too.
He's huge. And Al Hassan, I was watching the hype up video, and I was like, that dude's an absolute unit. And then Pfeiffer came out, and I was just like, he's even bigger.
Yeah, there were some people that were thinking that Pfeiffer might get beat by KO. They were kind of like the same thing with Bobby Green. They were saying if the other dude wants to win, it's got to be by KO. But Pfeiffer just put the clamps on him.
Well, the thing was, watching that fight unfold, there was an absolute slugfest. Everybody thought someone's lights were going out.
Mm-hmm.
I was sat there, I'm like, someone's gonna get brutally KO'd.
Or people thought Pfeiffer's leg was going to go out with those fucking leg kicks too to the front leg. I was getting worried too. I bet on Pfeiffer, so I was getting really worried about that.
Well, a big guy like that losing your lead leg, that's not ideal. But the fact that you got him in an arm triangle to win it, I thought that was insane.
Especially with the dudes who get all their power, like he relied on his front leg big time, you know?
Yeah, well, he's big, he's strong.
So you got to be comfortable switching up the stances if you're leaving your leg open to leg kicks like that. You got to be comfortable in southpaw.
Yeah, Hassan was a little too, because they say like he is a slower fighter. Kind of, he's way more patient. He'll sit back and wait for it. And even his corner was saying, he's like, you have to get going. You can't sit here and wait around and try to make him lunge and try to get him with a counter.
Yeah, that's one thing I won't get is if, a lot of these corners are good corners in between rounds, but a lot aren't. If you see someone who's losing and they're down 2 rounds going into the third, the corner's got to be telling them, you need to go for the finish. No more fucking around, chilling.
Yeah, you can't pussyfoot around.
Yeah, you can't pussyfoot around and lose the decision. If you want to win, you got to go for the win and go. A lot of these corners are like, oh, you're doing great in between rounds when they're getting 30-27, 2 rounds in a row. And it's like, dude, tell them they got to go all in for this finish right now, or they're going home with only half their paycheck. They're not getting the win bonus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
let me see what else. There were a few other than the Joaquin Buckley welterweight.
Beast too. Joaquin Buckley, big fan.
He dropped down from what, middle to welterweight?
Yes.
Yeah. Or is it he dropped down? I can't remember what.
I don't know if he dropped from light to middle or middle to welter.
But he dropped at least one class.
He definitely dropped one class, and he looked powerful.
He didn't get gassed either, dude. 3 rounds, and he was hot the entire fight. Came out swinging, never showed any sign of fatigue.
Fast, crisp.
Well, still a little wild of the strikes, but I mean, he's gonna be. I think that's his division to take. Especially with that welterweight division has been a little stagnant lately.
And I know you said you didn't watch it, but the opening fight on the main card, Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah, I missed that one.
He was a favorite, and I feel like he fought Cowboy. I want to say like 7 years ago or something.
Here comes the Cowboy hate, dude.
He fought Cowboy 7 years ago after Cowboy had lost to Jorge, and Cowboy was kind of on the downward spiral, and he was talking all this shit, and I was like, oh, this kid's going to be the fucking future. He's going to do it. And Cowboy beat him, and I think Cowboy broke him after that, because after that he hasn't been – this is the first time I saw his name in 6 years. I bet on him, and he got starched 30-27 all 3 rounds.
Do
you think Cowboy broke him?
To you, dude.
Cowboy might have broke him, which is a rare thing, because I feel like Cowboy's not breaking anyone in the UFC.
Well, yeah, he's retired. He's not doing that.
Yeah, now he's on all the TRT. If Cowboy's off the TRT...
And he's got a head of hair now. You see him. He looks good.
Yeah, he got his fucking... He retired. He got his TRT. Got his hair transplant surgery.
Yeah, he's
good for
doing
him.
Movies.
He's happy now.
He's a dog.
Yeah, it was good for him. Because if he didn't get on the TRT, I was coming to kick his ass.
He would have smoked. He'd smoke you. There's no way.
I doubt it, dude.
Just because you went to the semifinals in Connecticut.
Dude, I was a decent high school wrestler.
What division were you in high school?
Yeah, have you seen Cowboy's chin?
Yeah, it wasn't great towards the end, but whose chin is good at the end?
Well,
have you seen El Cucui's chin lately?
El Cucuy could eat it still.
Not even close, dude. He's getting starched left and right.
When has he gotten KO'd slept, though, except for Michael Chandler?
What did Gaethje do? Did
Gaethje won the decision. He did fuck him up, though. He did fuck him up for 5 rounds.
That was probably the last. I mean, I think his chin's gone, dude. His gone.
Yeah, but the chin you can expect. But what else happened to him? Did he just get old?
I mean, he looks old. He's kind of. He's been around. How long? He's been around for how long? Years.
He had like an 11-fight win streak in his prime. He had like the longest win streak in the UFC. He had beat like some huge names, RDA. Like a bunch of good people.
I know when.
And he never got the shot.
Well, the big thing. Well, I think the bigger thing was just him not fighting Khabib in his prime. Yeah. That's like, I think that is something that's gonna be a talking point going forward forever. I think is, he was so good, and Khabib is who Khabib is. What that fight could have been. Everybody thinks he may have had a chance, but I don't know.
Well, I'll be honest. When it was first talked about in the prime and Tony was on his 11-fight win streak, I was all in. I was like, Tony's the guy to beat Khabib, guaranteed. But then the past few years, maybe you think, I don't even know. Even if Tony wasn't his prime, I think Khabib might have just manhandled him.
Well, Khabib's lost arguably like 2 rounds in his whole career.
Yeah, you could say that.
Conor handed him one.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even know. I mean, people said that Conor beat him in a round. I was watching that fight live. I didn't think that he was winning any rounds when I was watching. I was rooting for him, but I didn't think he was winning any of the rounds.
He may have inched out a round.
Yeah,
like
that's what people say.
An inch.
But yeah, that's not just you.
I mean, but that's that's what everybody says. And I just said when I was watching McGregor forever, I was like, maybe he did, but obviously the production crew is going to be playing that game.
Well, the craziest part about Khabib is that his wrestling gets you so thrown off. Like McGregor was so focused on the wrestling that he got caught with that sloppy overhand right from Khabib. And after the fight, you could see McGregor and his coaches said that punch just pissed him off, not because like it rocked him or anything, just because it shouldn't have got through. It shouldn't have landed. Yeah, he was just so focused on the takedown, just getting like humped the whole time, the boring fight, that he forgot to keep his hands up and watch out for the crazy right. Because Khabib's not a striker, dude. He kind of sucks at striking.
I will say, is someone who's his protege, Islam, he can swing a little bit. He clipped Volk a couple times in that fight.
Yeah.
I still think Volk won that fight, dude. I don't know. I thought that was at least a split on Volk.
I thought Volk for sure won that fight, but I was biased, 100%. So I was biased, and I thought he won the fight, but I knew in the back, I was watching it live, I knew in the back of my head, I was like, these judges are going to give it to fucking Islam, of course. Like, they're going to give it to Islam. And I had Joe Rogan, I had Fight Companion on, and they were like, oh, Volk won. And I was like, shut the fuck up, you're jinxing it, Joe and Brendan. And then, of course, fucking split decision loss.
I was shocked. I was like surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I thought that was a clear win by Volk, honestly. I thought it was a minimum of a split.
So you thought it was 3-2, 3 wins, or do you thought it was 4-1? Because if it was clear.
I had a 3-2. I had like a 1-round edge for Volk, and I only do 10-9 rounds. I don't do 10-8s.
Well, one thing I like about what Rogan has said in the past is like, if it's a fight, if it's a street fight, and you end up on top, you lose the fight, And Islam ended that fight on his back with Volk on top. So Rogan's thing was, if it's a street fight, dude, you're getting your ass kicked. Like you when it ended, you're on your back, you're losing. But obviously, this is sanctioned fights.
But he also didn't really have him in too much trouble. He had him in trouble when he had his back. But even then, for a lot of the fight, he had Volk's back, and he was just hugging him. He wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah, no damage.
So I get the whole,
do you think
like the ground control or this and that. I'm like, but if you have someone on the ground and you don't do anything with it, that's just a waste of a round. I don't give you give you too much of an edge, being like, oh, like he had all the control on the ground the entire time, but if he didn't do anything, he didn't. What's the point?
Sometimes I wonder if having like the home, because I was in Australia, so that crowd was nuts. I never seen a crowd that loud. Sometimes I wonder if that hurts them, if the judges know like, oh, the crowd's going to react like crazy every time he lands like a tiny punch, and they're like, I'm not going to let the crowd trick me type of thing,
Yeah, maybe they overplayed it the other way to be like, oh, we can't like have that bias, yeah.
But Volk said he wants to be the next one in Russia, so, go in Islam's backyard.
That would be insane if they have that fight in Russia.
And Holloway was my favorite UFC fighter for years, and I still love Holloway. So I hated Volk at first, but Volk is the fucking man.
Volk is probably my favorite champion right now.
Yeah, he's my favorite UFC fighter right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like
all those Australian guys.
Yeah, you have Hooker's New Zealand. But
well,
you have that part of the world. You have Hooker, you have Izzy, Volk, Tai Tuivasa.
Yep.
I feel like he has an issue getting over the hump.
100%.
Tai. I feel like everybody knows he could be great. He knows he can be great. It's kind of like a Derek Lewis when Derek Lewis kind of ascends to, like, he kind of flies too close to the sun.
Yeah. And
then he kind of fizzles out and kind of, you can see, kind of like hits a wall. I kind of see Tai Tuivasa being very similar in that regard.
Well, when's the last time the UFC had a heavyweight champion who was just like a big fat guy with power? Because I feel like it's been like Verdum, Stipe, John Jones, who are now... These are like hybrids. They're like fucking tall, fast, strong. They're not just
they're lean
guys with big guts and power in the right hand. They can do everything.
Well, Derek
Lewis, you saw how he did versus DC. Imagine versus John Jones.
Well, have you seen how what shape he's gotten in.
Oh, yeah. And I love Derek Lewis. I'm a big Derek Lewis fan.
He just signed a new contract, and he said he wants to make a title run. So I'd love to see him put his nose to the grindstone. And I'd love to see him get to the top and win the belt. I would love to see him at a minimum win the belt. I think he can.
Well, it depends who the champion is at the time. You think he could beat John Jones?
I don't think John Jones is gonna be around for him when he rolls around.
So you think he could beat Cyril Gane?
He did not look great in that fight.
Because
Very
Derek
flat-footed.
Lewis-
He didn't look like himself when he fought Gane.
Yeah. Well, Gane's also moves like a featherweight, and he's like 200 and something pounds.
Gane's a specimen. I can't believe I was shocked at with the John Jones Gane fight. I'm shocked how that went down. I thought that was going to be way closer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I was convinced it was going to be a John Jones domination, but I did not think it was going to be that quick and that fast.
13 seconds, basically standing guillotine.
Yeah, no, I thought I was going to at least go to the third round.
Yeah, I don't know. Jones is such a good, just mixed martial art, great striker.
And Jones opened as an underdog on that fight.
Well, he hadn't fought in 5 years, or however long it was. He hadn't fought in so long, and he's had his troubles outside the ring too. So that was a big distraction. He got kicked out of his gym, and all that stuff, and had to go find a new home.
I'm just a firm believer that John Jones is kind of like Dana White. I'm a firm believer that John Jones is the best fighter of all time, and I just don't think he can be. Dominic Reyes was the only fight I watched when I was like, damn, is John Jones about to get fucking beat? But after that, I don't think John Jones should ever be an underdog.
No, not after coming back after that huge layoff and then beating Gane, who was supposed to be the next guy in that division, and made quick work.
So what do you think? What would happen if it was Francis versus John? That's the $1 million question.
John Jones and Francis Ngannou. I don't know. I think
because John does get hit. John does get hit, but he has a chin.
Yeah, but I think he's also zoned in. For how many title fights did he have that he was doing hookers and blow the night before? Quite a few.
Yeah.
And now if he's zoning in, that's a different guy.
Yeah.
And I could see him not easily beating, but I could easily see him beating Francis Ngannou, especially with Ngannou's knees.
Well, I heard Rogan say once that he thought that John's crazy side was why he was good, because he could go out and then he has to unleash and do cocaine and party and just go nuts. So we'll see how the straight edge John did great versus Cyril Gane though. So you're right, it might be a super freak.
Right, that's what I think it is.
That's super John Jones.
But that is a good point on the other side of some guys who do have that crazy lifestyle and they do try to zone in. They're just not the same. It's they kind of need that chaos to do well. So
they got to know they could fall back and go, as DC would say, sandblast hookers and snort cocaine.
Exactly. Yeah, and then maybe hit people and go back and grab his crack pipe and then go back out. No, that John Jones and Ngannou, what I would do. I wish Dana screwed that up so bad. I love Dana, but dude, he screwed that up so bad.
Yeah, Dana's getting too big for his own bridges.
I don't think so, dude. I don't know. I think I don't think it was too ridiculous. What was he asking for? I thought, well, what did the PFL give him? The PFL gave him his opponent gets $1 million a fight, or he gets $1 million a fight, and the opponent gets half.
I think he gets $8 million, and his opponent's got a guaranteed $1.5 million. So he was the first guy who was advocating for his opponents too, which I liked a lot.
Yeah,
and the UFC was unwilling to fucking budge on it.
And didn't he want health insurance too or something?
Yeah,
he was advocating for a ton of other stuff too. He was fighting for the group. He was not fighting for himself at all.
Union type shit.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of UFC fighters had his back. That's why the ones who turned on him, I was like, what are you guys doing? Do you want Dana to be able to control you? PFL is doing good, Bare Knuckles is doing good. They're making offers, but other than that, the UFC still got a monopoly on this.
But I mean, how much money does the PFL going to be bleeding out for those fights? Do they really anticipate making that much they can afford those purses?
I don't know, but they talk about percentages, and the UFC pays their athletes the lowest percentage of all pro sports by far. So if they're only paying, let's say, 20% to their athletes, and PFL is paying 60% and still making good profit on the 40%, that's good to go, dude. Treat the athletes well, like the NFL, NBA.
You can't say the NFL treats them well.
Well, they have their own union at least.
I don't think UFC will ever become a union. I think it's always going to remain private the way it is, and it'll just be independent contracts.
and we're back.
We never left, dude. All right, next week or this upcoming week, this is gonna be a pretty good card. I think there's gonna be some fireworks. I think there's a lot of good names on this card.
See, that's the thing about you is that Mikey became a big fan in 2020, and now he knows every name on the UFC roster, even these no-name guys that I have no idea about. So for this next week's card, he knows pretty much everyone. I only know Edson Barbosa.
Do not go that far. Don't go that. I've
You
lost my edge a little
became a
bit.
scholar quick, and you learned within 2 months of becoming a fan, you were talking to me about 20-year ago history. I was like, damn, we got a legitimate UFC fan here now.
Yeah, I like to think I've worked. I've put the man hours in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've worked hard.
Well, you fell in love quick.
I did. I felt quick, dude. Yeah, I started. It was during COVID. I was just watching all of McGregor's highlights, and I was getting amped up. Then I started watching John Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Then I found the Gustafsson fight in John Jones.
And once you get on the YouTube UFC rabbit hole, you'll be on it for hours. Recommended.
Jorge Masvidal, the Askren, I was like, who the hell are all of these guys? I've been missing out on all of this right now. Oh, my God, dude. I was watching Mike Tyson highlights, too. I mixed those in there. What a monster he was.
Yeah, you sat down not knowing anything about the UFC, and 2 hours later you're quoting to Kelsey, we're not here to take part, we're here to take part.
Yeah. We'll talk about McGregor another time. Well, he just okayed. He's in the USADA pool now, aiming for April, I think, with Chandler.
Well, I did just see also, speaking about the USADA pool with the injuries, they need to figure out a way to fix that loophole because you got a guy like TJ Dillashaw. Well, maybe it's not even a loophole. Maybe it's legit, but you got TJ Dillashaw who said, I'm retiring, I'm done, get me out of the USADA pool, had a couple surgeries, and now he's saying I'm eyeing a comeback next year. So he's jacking himself up with all the fucking PEDs in the world.
Did he just hurt? It was his shoulder, right? Again.
Oh, he's had major shoulder issues.
Yeah.
His new shoulder surgery was major. He's got a big
the body brace.
Yeah, the box underneath it.
Yeah,
and everything, the full 9 yards.
That's dude, especially with the wrestling. That's just.
But TJ in his prime, I know it was before your time. TJ in his prime when he beat Renan Barrio, I think that was the biggest UFC upset at the time, and that was fucking wild. And I thought TJ was untouchable. Then you find out, we don't know how long he was on EPO for, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because his cardio was a big thing. He just kept it coming on.
Well, he said it was for his weight cut because his weight cut was killing him. That's why he did it. But, I mean, Chael, so I love Chael because Chael is just like, dude, I was on everything. I'll tell you exactly how it was. He's like, oh, you could get off of that so quick and you won't even test for it.
Yeah, but Chael said that the EPO was the major leagues of PEDs. He was like, it's a legit one. It's not a little small one. It's big. That's what Lance Armstrong and all the cyclists were doing when they were all on PEDs doing the Tour de France and whatever. They were just jacking themselves up with the EPO. And I guess your blood gets so thick you have to wake up at 3 a.m. to run on a bike to make sure your blood doesn't get too thick because that's how
blood
good
clots and all
that's how
stuff.
good your cardio gets. So TJ, I mean, if TJ was just doing it for that one fight, then what a fucking it really backfired because he got starched in the first round. He looked like a Skeletor.
Yeah.
So maybe that goes to show don't do EPO, but I don't know, dude. If he was doing it the rest of his career, he was nasty in his prime.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I missed his prime. I missed Cody Garbrandt's prime too.
Cody Garbrandt had a very short-lived prime.
Was it was it a 10-weight fight win streak where he won the belt and then it was all of a sudden boom?
I think he was either 7-0 or 8-0 when he fought undefeated Thomas Almeida on a fight night main event, and there was 2 undefeated guys going against each other. Cody was a major underdog though versus Thomas Almeida, a phenom from Brazil. And Cody just starched him, KO'd him first round, slept him, and then he started calling out Dom Cruz. But he fought. I don't know if it was the Korean Zombie. It was some Korean dude, and he knocked him out in the first round too. Then they gave him the Dom Cruz fight, and you know how that went. 5-round beatdown, great decision win, and that was pretty much Cody Garbrandt's peak. He won the belt, and then he never defended it.
I think the only one I've seen him get was when he was in 2020 on the Amanda Nunes Spencer card with Sean O'Malley. He had that buzzer beater. His fist was at his ankle, and he just starched him at the bell, dude.
Rafael Assunção.
That was that was crazy.
And Rafael Assunção is no one to play with either. He's a beast too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. TJ barely beat him, but yeah. I mean, Cody's got the power. Hunter, I don't even know what happened to him, dude. Because I thought he was going to be a beast for a while. He's got the wrestling, the power.
I don't know if the sport.
Speed.
I don't know if just the sport.
He's got no chin.
I don't know if it's like I don't know if the scouting report, like the league just figured him out. Like you see that in sports all the time. Like they'll have like a good year, maybe two, and then it's like by their third or fourth year they're out. You know, you say like wide receivers, like or quarterbacks, whatever it is, or hitters in Major League Baseball. They kind of figure them out, and then they can't make the adjustment. That could be the case too.
I'm also a firm believer that it doesn't matter how talented you are at all. If you don't have a chin, if you can't eat a punch, you're not going to be successful. Like Luke Rockhold.
Oh, here we go. This is your spiel every time we talk about chins.
Luke Rockhold was one of the best middleweights of all time. After he beat Weidman, I was like, oh, this dude's going to go on a tear. But he's got no chin. Bisping starts him with the left. Yoel starts him. Paulo starts. Like, everyone's just – he's got no chin, dude. The dude's got no chin. So – it's like same thing with Cody Garbrandt. You could do nasty, then you get clipped once, you get rocked. Doesn't look good on the scorecard.
Even like sometimes you see guys, maybe it's like the weight cut, and they don't even get hit hard. They just get clipped a little bit, and then it's all over. You see they get stunned, and then they just can't recover.
Yeah, you have to have a good chin, dude.
So what do you think about that Sadiq Youssef and Edson Barbosa? Edson Barbosa
is the gift that just keeps on giving, dude. He's been around for how long now? I mean, he was like the stepping stone for a while. Like, you had to beat him to get your title shot. Kevin Lee beat him. Khabib beat him. They were just everyone was just walking through him, getting their title shots. But he's coming back. He's on American Top Team. So I feel like if you're on American Top Team, you're already legit. Like, you're training with the best. Iron sharpens iron every day.
So you think he's beaten Youssef?
I don't know much about Youssef at all. I don't really know a lot of these low-name guys.
It's he minus 165 for Youssef.
I'm going Barbosa.
Barbosa's a plus 140. It's kind of a pick 'em almost.
A pick 'em.
That's
I'm going Barbosa for sure. Especially with Barbosa's got the
he's 37, dude.
He's got the one kick KO power too.
Yeah, he does. He has some violent knockouts. Yeah. He's way bigger than Youssef. He's 4 inches reach, and he's like 2 inches taller.
He kicked that one dude into he kicked that one dude so bad with the spinning back kick. And the dude ended up going like crazy and walking into traffic a few years ago. So that shows you have the power behind those kicks.
Jesus. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. That's wild you just said that.
I'm just saying, dude. Immediately when I saw that, I was like, wait, is that the guy who Edson kicked in the head? And it was. I was like, damn, that kick's got some lasting effects.
Yeah, then we have Jennifer Maia. You know Jennifer Maia. Number 9.
Not really, no.
She hasn't won. She made a little run there where I think she was going for the belt. She was kind of like on pace for it. But she hasn't won. She hasn't had a finish win in the last 5
boring
fights.
fighter.
Wrestler. I think they're both wrestlers, so I think it's gonna be a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah, if she's a boring fighter, she's gonna have to earn the title shot to where there's nothing that can like be proven against it. Like Dana White's not gonna give her the title shot unless there's no other choices.
Yeah, you really do have to have a lot of like sparkle, like a Sean O'Malley. Paddy Pimblett looks like he's kind of lined up to be that next Sean O'Malley guy, but
yeah.
He doesn't want like he was so pissed with the Rob Font Corey Sandhagen fight. I think he walked out in the 4th round or after the 4th round.
Well, it depends what you want more. Like, do you want like a boring UFC champion, one that can't speak English like Oliveira, or do you want one who's just like a madman like Strickland who's just gonna say
Oliveira's
crazy
not
stuff?
Boring, dude.
Charles can't speak English. I said.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't care if they can speak English. I want to see him starch people and get crazy finishes.
Yeah, but Dana White's thinking about marketing wise. That's why you always tell him.
Yeah, but you also have to think how big of a market a place like Brazil is, or a place like another foreign speaking country. Like look at like parts of like Europe that can't speak English. You got some big fighters coming out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a big Du Bronx fan. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I wish he could speak English though, so I could understand him.
I don't know. I love seeing that same translator in the cage who speaks about 17 different languages. There's always remember that one guy we were talking about, white guy with like the feathery hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love seeing him. He'll. I feel like he speaks 17 different languages. Yeah. It's fantastic.
And he always cuts it off in half too. Like the fighter will say like a 30-second thing and he'll reply in 5 seconds. And you know he didn't get everything the fighter wanted to say.
Well, they do.
It's like, what's he leaving out?
Well, there's no way. Oh yeah, I can only imagine what they're leaving out. Yeah, that's on the card. You got
how am I supposed to slide into Charles Oliveira's DMs if I don't have Spanish on my keyboard? You know what I mean?
He speaks Portuguese because he's Brazilian.
Yeah, so.
What are you, a Trump supporter, dude? Oh, my God. You just turned bright pink. All right, next one. Adrian Yanez coming back off a loss off of Rob Font against Jonathan Martinez, bantamweight. What do you think?
I don't know much about him. How do you look against Rob Font?
It was a KO. 2 minutes. 2 minutes in, probably the second round, I think.
Well, Rob Font's a beast, though. A beast
Rob
from
Font's
Boston.
jab, dude. Oh my
and that's
God,
where we're
he's
from,
so good.
people. Boston, so.
Dude, I love Rob Font.
We're
I was
big New
very
England
sad.
Cartel
I knew
fans.
Sandahagen was gonna be a tough fight for Font.
We'll
too.
get Rob on this podcast for sure.
I'd love to get Font, dude.
Dude, if we got Font on, my
Shout
God.
out the cartel, dude.
Beast, yeah.
Big
cartel
big
fans.
cartel fans.
We'll get
over
Font
here.
and Cater on.
Oh my
yeah.
God. Well, dude, speaking of,
They'll subscribe.
Terrence
to
McKinney
OnlyFat.
is fighting Brendan Morrow. Cartel. It's his debut in the UFC.
Brendan Morrow's cartel.
Brandon
debut.
Morrow's cartel, yeah, he's fighting Terrence McKinney. That just got announced like a day ago or 2
Okay.
days ago.
Okay, are there odds on that yet or no?
You'd have to minus 476 for Terrence McKinney, plus 350 for Brendan.
So we're taking the dog on that for sure. The cartel dog.
I mean, I would take him.
I like McKinney too, but I'm a cartel loyalist.
I like McKinney. I think McKinney's could be. I think he's gonna be a really good fighter, but that's a
and
pretty,
he had beef with that dork from Barstool too.
yeah. After that rough flying knee knockout, I don't even. What did Robbie Fox even say? I can't even remember what he said.
I don't know what he said, but I remember after the
McKinney was like pissed, dude. He was all over Twitter. He's like, "You're a fucking joke," blah blah blah. That got kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, after the Cowboy McGregor fight, Portnoy was like, "Oh, Cerrone must be a tomato can. Is he a tomato can?" And Rob Fox in his fucking cowboy hat was like, "No, he's absolutely not a tomato can." I was like, "Dude, shut the fuck up."
He's not
You
a
know what I mean?
tomato can, dude. I will defend Cowboy
Well, what does this dork know
for
he's talking
eternity,
about?
dude. I love Cowboy. Seeing his head kicks, seeing those combos he was throwing together, like in his prime, he was a dog.
I
dude.
respect Cowboy. I like Cowboy a lot. I just always felt like he tried too hard to be badass. You don't need to tell us how
he
badass
has
you
his
are.
own bad
Just be
motherfucker
badass
ranch,
with
dude.
your actions, dude. You know, you don't need to name your son Danger or Riot. We get it. We get it.
I don't know, dude.
You're a Cowboy loyalist. It's okay. You
I
gotta
am a
defend
Cowboy
him.
loyalist.
I
100%.
respect his
This
fighting,
this
too.
is a Cowboy.
I think
pod.
he's a great fighter.
This is a Cowboy pod.
Naming your son Danger, a little bit too far.
No.
In
He's
my
he's
opinion.
BMF, dude.
In
He's
my
born and raised on
opinion.
BMF Ranch.
Yeah. See, why do you have to tell us that? Like, we'll tell you you're badass. You don't need to tell us you're badass. Show me
You
you're
see his
badass,
back-
and I'll.
you see his back
Nate
tattoo?
Diaz
That's
is
pretty
badass,
badass.
and I never see him talk about how badass he is. You know what I mean?
I think he says it in so many words.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I see Cowboy and I'm like, oh, what a great guy. Like, I love this dude.
I love Cowboy.
Sometimes I'm like, bro, just chill. We get it. You know, you're tough.
He was tough, dude. He was
You know?
really good.
You drink
That's a
Budweiser.
prime I'm really sad I missed. Because
So-
the first time I wasn't even really into the UFC when he lost to Conor. Because that was that was right before COVID hit.
Oh, yeah.
So I was sitting there. I knew he was a tough opponent from kind of what I was able to like research and just kind of hear leading up to the fight. And then just after that, that was the beginning of the end for Cowboy, and just kind of how his career kind of went down,
Yep.
and how he left, which you hate to see. You like to see guys leave on top, but more often than not, that never happens.
Yeah, it's rough.
unfortunately. Yeah.
It's rough.
So we like the cartel against McKinney.
I do. I like the underdog.
You like the
100%.
underdog? I
I'm
mean,
with,
dude, throw
chipping
$10
in.
on that. You're walking out with a lot if he comes out with a win.
Yeah, I like
I love
it.
that. And then
I made a mistake. I bet against Rob Font a few fights ago. He was the underdog, and I knew it. I was like, oh, I got to back my Boston guy, but I didn't, and he knocked the dude out.
he's such a. I knew that Sandahagen fight was gonna be hard, dude. Sandahagen will do anything for the win. He's so smart when it comes to that
Sanhagen's a
stuff.
beast, too.
Yeah. Oh, I love Sandahagen. I just don't know when he got injured. Was that the first round when he hurt his elbow? Because he didn't really. Like I know Font was able to do enough on the ground to stop him from advancing and making any moves, but Sandahagen just kind of like laid on top of him. I don't know if he was so injured he wasn't able to do anything, or I don't know. Like, what did you see in that fight?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't. Did we even know about the injury till after the fight?
I think we found out after. It happened in fight, I believe. It was his elbow, because his elbow was gigantic after it.
Yeah, so I remember I thought the same thing. I was like, I wonder when he got injured. You know?
Yeah,
'Cause you can never tell. Like some people will get injured and they'll have to switch up their fight approach and they'll fight better. And it's like, wow, why didn't you do that from the get go?
Yeah, I was surprised that he wasn't. I thought he's so well rounded, and I thought he was gonna be. I thought that was the submission. I'm surprised Rob was able to survive the 5 rounds, because that was the main event.
Well, he's tough, dude.
I know
All those
he's
cartel guys
well,
are
no,
tough. You saw
he's
Tom
tough,
Cater
but
take a few
Sandahagen's
beatdowns.
ground game is well known.
I
right?
don't think they know how to quit at New England Cartel. They don't even know what throwing the towel in is. You know, you saw Calvin
No.
Cater versus Max Holloway.
That was
The
when I
dude's
bought
tough
this
as
sweatshirt.
nails. Yeah,
That-
the dude is tough as nails.
I think he didn't even hit the ground that fight, I don't think. May
But
have
it
hit
was-
the ground once.
But Max Holloway's
He
made
kept
a
walking
record on
forward
his
too.
face.
He kept walking like it was that
set a record.
dude, that was a crazy fight. Max Holloway's of
And then you got to like ask like
are they gonna do Volk Max Holloway 4? Are we gonna go down that?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I have like a love-hate with that thought. Like, I think Max Holloway, he's lapped the division. So I'm like, how do you not give it to him? But at the same time, 4. And Volk's beat him all 3 times.
Volk debatably beat him the second time, I thought, in my opinion.
But he definitely won the third.
Yeah.
So he's won 2.
I think Volk's leveled up. I don't think Max could beat him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't spar. Holloway doesn't spar anymore, which I think has helped his career. Like,
Yeah,
I think
he's
his longevity.
young, dude. He's very young.
How young is Holloway?
I think he's only like 28 or 29. People forget how young he is.
I feel like he's been around for
yeah,
I feel like he's been around a long, long time. Like he
Yeah.
got in the UFC at a very young age.
He lost to McGregor in the UFC very young.
That was in Boston.
Yeah, and that was
Right?
McGregor hurt his knee or something in that fight. He wanted the finish. Everyone was like, oh, who the fuck is this Holloway guy? Everyone was like, oh, McGregor should have finished him. Then Holloway goes off on a huge run and beats Aldo twice. It's like, oh, damn, McGregor was impressive for beating him back then, and Holloway's legit, you know? But hold on, real quick. Speaking of the Calvin Kattar thing, what's your opinion on the throwing in the towel for corners? Do you think never? Sometimes?
I mean,
Because some people
you
are
have to
never.
try to have to save your fighter. Like,
What if he doesn't
I mean,
want-
how many beatdowns do we see like that? Maybe once a year, maybe. Usually never the same guy.
Yeah.
Because when was the next time Kattar fought after that? I think he took a long time off after that. I think he waited at least a year to fight again.
But what do you do as a coach if your fighter's getting
You have to step in, but
who's
who's actually thrown in the who's thrown in the towel in the UFC though? Because
Nick Diaz threw it in for his brother Nate when he got head kicked by Josh Thompson. Threw in for his brother Nate. That was the only time Nate got finished ever. That's his brother too, dude. You know. But my thing is like, if I was into a corner for my friend who wants to take an amateur fight and he was getting the
an
bricks
amateur
beat
fight's
off of
different.
him,
You know what
but
I
if
mean?
but if he was like, don't throw it in, but he's getting the bricks beat off of him.
I mean,
feel
if it's like
a
that,
decision I gotta make
you
there.
have to do it. You have to, like I said, you have to save the fighter. It's just one fight, dude. Just take the L, get healthy, and get ready for the next one. Like sometimes you have to do it. Like I said, you have to save the fighter.
Yeah.
Because
They'll be too tough for their own good.
right,
for
exactly.
Sure.
That's
They want to
the-
go out
yeah.
on their sword.
I still can't believe that. Because that was the big conversation after that fight was should he have thrown in the towel?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
when you know it's a lost cause, I mean, like,
Right,
he
like
could have
there's-
gone for the finish, I guess. But
he wasn't getting anything going.
Holloway
that
doesn't get
was
finished
that,
either.
that was a max fight. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? Like it wasn't like if it was a slugfest and it was close.
Yeah.
I think you have to hang in there, but with it being especially going into the last 2 rounds, it's like if he maybe showed life in the third, but
Dude,
I
when-
would have thrown in the towel.
when Max looked over at Dana White and said, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and then ducked like 4 of Calvin's punches in a row, I was like, damn. Max
Calvin
has not
Calvin
lost a
doesn't
step.
miss, but even at that point, what round was that? That was already like
That had to be 4 or 5.
Yeah,
it was late. It was a lost cause. I mean, you could always go. That's the thing about fighting is that unlike like an NFL game, if you're down 50, you could get that like last second KO. You know, like you always have the shot.
like what we saw with Diaz and Leon Edwards.
Yeah, but it's just like or even Derek Lewis when he fought that big Russian dude and knocked him out last second when he was losing
Yeah.
every round. But I mean, it's the corner's got to decide that. You know, if you don't think your fighter's got a chance to finish him, you got to make the call, I guess. I would be mostly against throwing in the towel. It'd have to be bad, a bad beatdown from my boy for me to be like, I
Like
can't
is
watch
that
this
so? Is
anymore.
the Kattar Holloway fight? Is that the like? Is
I
that like
wouldn't
the
have-
standard? Like, would you have thrown it in?
I wouldn't have thrown it in that fight. No,
You-
I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have thrown it in,
No.
dude. I don't know. I probably would have thrown it in. Like you said. It's
Well,
a
maybe
loss.
I'll have to go back and watch it. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. Maybe I would throw it in, dude, with
Yeah.
your reaction right
Well, yeah,
there.
it's just not a thing that's common in the UFC. Do you think it should be?
No, but there was that one corner who the fighter in between was saying, I'm done. They were like, no, you're not. No,
In
you're
that
not, no,
case,
you're not."
like the ref should just go in and be like, he just called it.
Yeah,
You
and that
should-
corner got a lot of shit, a lot of heat for it, and they were like trying to defend it after. They're like, no, we know him better than he knows himself. But it's like, dude, if he's telling you no, it's a no.
Yeah.
The question becomes if the fighter is like, Don't throw it, don't throw it. But he's getting that fucking brick speed off of him, and he's got two swollen eyes, and he's got no shot.
All right, so here's the fun segment, our pound for pound power rankings. Any category, whatever we choose. This episode, we're doing canned alcohol beverages. I pick 5, Jay Griff picks 5. Then we have to collectively, with the existing 5, rank a top 5 for the pod. So, Justin, do you want to lead us off, or do you want me to go first?
So we're starting with 5.
Starting out with 5, yep, and I'll let you go, and then I'll go, and then we have to sit here and collectively come together with one pound for pound list from the both of
Okay,
ours.
all right. So my number 5 is a fairly new drink, fairly new to the game. Shout out Nelk, Happy Dad, Death Row flavor. You tried it yet?
No, I don't think about. Okay.
Well, if you don't try it, then yeah, there's not really much to debate here.
Okay. Well, I still have my 5, and you have 4 left. So.
What's your number 5?
No, you do your 5.
Oh, I'm going all through.
You go.
I'm going
Yep,
all-
yep. You go through.
Okay.
So Happy Dad, Death Row is number 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that might work its way up. I've only had it once, but it was real good.
Okay.
Number 4, Coors Light.
Is this the white trash episode?
Solid, dude. Well, wait till you hear number 3. Number 3, Bud Light Loyalist. Bud Light Loyalist.
You look like a Bud Light loyalist, dude. Oh my god.
What is that supposed to mean? Can you elaborate on that?
I'm not trying to get in trouble the first episode.
Yeah. Bud Light Loyalist. Dylan Malavy Loyalist. Number 2, High Noon Vodka. Miss me with that tequila shit. High Noon Vodka, grapefruit flavor. That's my number 2.
Mhm.
And then number 1, the most slept on drink in the country. Most of our followers probably haven't ever tried it. Lover Boy. It's a 0 sugar spiked iced tea. It was invented by the guys who do the show Summer House.
Our favorite show,
Yeah,
Summer House.
a great show. Kyle Carpenter.
We watch UFC together, and then we always talk about Summer
Yeah, we're
House.
big reality TV show fans
We-
too, guys.
Mostly Bravo, best
Yeah,
reality TV
yeah.
in the game.
Oh,
We'll have
yeah.
to do that. We'll have to do that as the next pound for pound.
Bravo is good. Bravo.
We'll rank Bravo's best reality TV shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Lindsay Carl loyalist.
All right. So, absolutely not. No. I'm a Carl loyalist. I am not a Lindsay loyalist. Clip it. Okay. My top 5. I will be leading off with my number 5 is also a hard spiked tea. Arizona hard tea, the lemon flavor.
Okay. Didn't even know that existed.
I didn't either. I went over to my buddy's house. I was at his pool. Nice warm day. Cracked one open. The lemon flavor is by far the best flavor out of the pack.
A nice refreshing drink.
Very refreshing. I was also heavily under the influence, so I could have a very misconstrued idea of what that drink is, but I'm rolling with it.
Is it one of the drinks though that you could have like 10 of, or is it one of the ones where you can only have like 2, 3, maybe 4, and then you got to move on?
No,
to something
it's not too sugary. Yeah, I believe I'd be able to drink a pack of those.
Okay, that's why everyone on my list you could have 10, 12 of. You know,
Yep.
they're not like thick IPAs here.
And then my next number 4, Lynx. Have you ever had Lynx before? No. It looks like a golf ball. It's like the golf ball like label on it. You can get it in 3 different flavors. The OJ flavor, it's a transfusion. Fantastic.
Okay.
You're ever hitting the Lynx like I am all the time, that's what you're going for.
Is it malt or vodka?
I don't know. I think it's I
malt.
think it's a vodka maybe. Didn't read the label. I just drank it and thought it was fantastic. So that's the OJ. You can get it in grape and cranberry are the other flavors as well. But the OJ is the only one I've had, and I'm sticking with it.
Are you gonna have any like name brand ones on here? Or are they all gonna be like weirdo ones? Like the
Arizona's a
shelf?
name, dude. 99-cent
Spiked
tall boys,
Arizona?
dude.
Okay, what's number 3?
Vivas.
Okay, I know
Okay,
Vivas.
tequila. Huckleberry flavor. The light blue can, that can slaps.
Okay.
That's by far the best flavor. I don't care. They have a grapefruit one my buddy likes. I don't
Is
like
it only
it.
tequila, Viva?
Yeah, they're only
Miss me.
tequilas.
Miss me.
No, the Miss Me on the High Noon tequilas, I do not like those. So when you said that, I couldn't believe I agreed with you. But I am very much against those High Noon tequilas. The vodkas are way better.
Okay.
But these, if you drink a tequila drink, I recommend. I'll buy you a pack next time we hang out, and I'll get you the blue. Next one, my number 2, Old Faithful, 7.8% locally brewed, boom sauce from Lord Hobo.
Okay.
You've seen me drink 7 too many of those.
Okay. Yeah.
A few many times watching some fights.
Of course, locally brewed.
Yes,
okay.
of course. I'm a local guy. Got the cartel sweatshirt on. Had to hit up Boom Sauce, Lord Hobo.
All right,
They're
let's
up
see
in
what his
Woburn.
number one is. Let's see what his number one is.
Number 1 is Old Faithful. Been drinking this brand for a very long time. I started drinking seltzers. Yes, it's a seltzer. Way before it was okay for men to be drinking seltzers. So I'm very proud to be stuck with this brand. I've stuck with it all the way through.
White Claw.
Black Cherry White Claw is the number 1 drink that is my go-to. I get the 12-pack. I don't get the variety. I don't really venture out. I'll try maybe the fiance may get a different variety pack. Or if I'm out, I'll maybe hit up a couple of those flavors. But the Black Cherry is what I'm getting at the liquor store every single time.
So me and Molly, we love White Claw too, but we do not like the Black Cherry flavor because we feel like the aftertaste of it is like the same aftertaste you have after you like eat a girl out.
I mean,
It's like vagina.
I don't know what kind of
It's
vagina
so
you're
disgusting.
eating, but
And I feel like I'm just breathing like.
I think we got to be talking about that.
Air.
We have to talk about that, not about the drink.
I swear, dude. Try it out, dude. I guarantee I'm not the only one in the country who's thought that. There's at
My
least 10 other guys out
my
there who are
beautiful
like,
fiance has
Ugh.
not said that exact thing, but she does complain about the aftertaste. She has not compared
Told
it
you,
to that.
dude. Very strange aftertaste. Only on that Black Cherry though. Try it out, people.
I love the Black Cherry. I think I like the flavor. The aftertaste doesn't really bother me. The big thing is even my fiance would complain about like my breath the next morning is also not great. Hence the aftertaste. But
That's what it is, dude. Because I feel like I'm breathing like fucking just disgusting air into people when I drink a Black Cherry White Claw.
what kind of air?
Vagina.
All right. So those are my 5. Now we have to sit here and battle out a consolidated 5 for the pod. But I've had a lot of your drinks, and I can tell you how bad they are easily. High Noon's the most overrated seltzer out there. Malt liquor, whatever it is.
No, High Noon is just straight vodka.
Yeah, but it's so overrated, overpriced too. Here in
Yeah,
Boston,
maybe
$30
prices.
for a 12-pack.
I don't check the prices when I get it. I just
Well,
get it.
you should check
You
your
know what
bank
I mean?
statement because that is a hefty price to pay for a very mediocre drink. That's only 4% alcohol.
I wonder how much Lover Boys are compared to them then.
I don't
Probably
think
expensive too.
Well, I remember when they came out with their like the espresso martinis. That was like wicked expensive.
And those were disgusting.
Yeah, I didn't even have it because you gave me the review and I was like, I'll take a sip maybe, but I didn't want to pay the price for them. All right, so our number 5. Let me hear your bottom 3.
Happy Dad, Death Row, Coors Light, Bud Light are my bottom 3.
Oof, that's
But we already know you're already out on High Noon, so my number 2 is probably not making the list because you're really out on High Noon.
well, unless you want to fight me for one. I think so. I
Bud
obviously.
Light's making the list, dude. Pat had it on his list, whether the fans hear that or not.
Okay, no, I think okay. What's
Cowboy Store only loves Bud Heavy, so we'll take Bud Light. Do you think Cowboy still drinks Bud Heavy?
I would be very intrigued. We should get him on the pod and ask him.
Yeah, we should. slide
That'd
in
be our
his
first
DM.
question.
Should
Are you
slide in
still
his DMs
drinking
and ask him.
Budweiser? How do you feel? All right. I think we should probably put in. I would, as much as I think High Noon's overrated, I'll put that at 5.
All right, we'll take.
They
High
are.
Noons.
Those are a really good like summertime pool drink. I will indulge in a couple, but those aren't something I can drink. Maybe 2, 3.
All right, you gave me High Noon. I'll give you Boom Sauce. We'll let that weird.
Boom Sauce is easily a
make
top
the list.
3.
Boom Sauce.
Boom Sauce is at least a 3.
Yeah, but we're having
It's
to drink people-
7.8%, dude.
We want people who can actually go out and buy the drinks. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have local listeners first. Think about it that way. Boom Sauce. Lord Hobo should be out everywhere, right? Lord Hobo's a pretty big brewery.
I don't know. Never even heard of it.
I'm surprised no Harpoon. I'm
Boom
surprised
Sauce.
Harpoon didn't make the list. Should we just scrap the ranking? I feel like this is way too hard for my dumb little brain. Like the coincided. I'm just gonna talk shit. I think Coors Light. The fact that your Coors Light is on a list.
I love Coors Light.
Coors Light, dude. What about like Mick Ultra? I know that's also Anheuser-Busch, but
People think that's a girly drink. It's like low calorie.
seltzers are low calorie. Like White Claw is only like 90 calories, I think. That's just how I've been able to keep my figure.
Dude, my dad loves Mick Ultra.
I like Mick Ultra, especially on the golf course. Mick Ultras are good. Mick Ultras are great on the course. Those are a go-to.
Well, yeah, but
I can't believe you're hating on boom sauce right now, dude.
well, no, I never tried it though. I just wanted people.
It's
that-
citrusy. It's
Oh.
I don't like IPAs at all. I hate IPAs. Nine
They come
times
in-
nine
they come in
times
a
out of 10.
4-pack, I'm guessing.
Yeah, come in a 4-pack. They're a bigger can too. I think they're like a 16-ounce can.
Okay.
Like you need
that's
you
one of the
need
ones you
really
only-
need like a half of one of those. It's kind of like an old Four Loko, but
And
I
that's one
power
of the ones
through.
you're only having 4 of for sure. You're not having more than 4.
I've drank more than 4.
Okay.
I've had a pretty brutal headache the next day though. Ooh, pretty
do you
rough.
do you like Irish car bombs?
Love Irish car bombs.
Me too. We'll do a St. Patty's Day episode. At the bar.
At the oh yeah, this would be we'd go in the Erie pub like this.
Or
This
we'll
that
just
would
do-
that would be a perfect place to go.
Or we just do Irish car bombs on air here.
I mean, you usually could. All you just need
We got time,
all you need
dude.
is some, all you need is some Guinness. All you need is some touch of Jameson and a touch of Bailey's. That's easy.
Yeah. They go down
Can you
easy.
can you
too.
can you chug though?
I could chug. I could chug an Irish car bomb.
That's only like
I can't.
That's
chug
only
like
half a
freeze-
pint, dude.
If it's like a freezing cold like beer, I'm not. I'll drink like a shitload.
Maybe
but
on
I'm
like
not
a
great,
maybe on like a
chugger.
hot day. Dude,
I get like brain freeze and teeth freeze.
I get the back of my teeth. It used to be the front when I was a kid. It's like worked its way back. I haven't been a dentist also in like 5 years, so that's probably
Yeah, you probably got, like,
7 years. 20. I didn't go in 2016. Yeah, I had work. I called like the morning of. I was driving in at work at like 5 o'clock, and I was like, I'm not coming in today. And then I never rescheduled. That's probably why my back of my teeth hurt. I probably have a lot of
You probably
cavities.
got like 10 cavities back there.
God only knows what I have back there. Any good dentist recommendations for this area? Because I'm in trouble.
Got nothing.
My mother-in-law's all over me about it. All over me about going to the dentist.
It's
No,
important. It's important. Hygiene's important.
hygiene is important, but
Teeth. You're like, teeth, maybe.
eh,
Yeah, teeth
they
and
were.
touch
I
up.
mean, we were made to lose teeth and get new ones. Granted, I got my wisdom teeth removed, so there goes that argument. But
You could always get veneers, dude.
I could also. Have you seen Shane Gillis' new special?
Yes.
Have you remember when he was talking about George Washington's teeth?
Yes.
But they show him at the end
Yeah.
with what was it, donkey teeth and like lead.
They showed Shane at the
Yeah, they showed Shane
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And he said, he's like, no wonder the guy didn't smile. His mouth was full of lead and
Yeah.
donkey teeth, dude. Oh, how brutal.
Yeah, you can't even have lead in paint anymore, and he had lead in his mouth. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, then that was the good bit in like, with Tommy Boy. Did you eat lead paint chips as a kid?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we did our pound for pound ranking.
We're gonna tweak that.
Well, Wes, we will be tweeting that. Follow us on Twitter, Talkin Malarkey, Instagram, Talkin Malarkey. Go on YouTube, unsubscribe, resubscribe, leave a like, leave a comment for the boys. Do I go over Bachelor Party 2.0 that just ensued?
Yeah, give me a little brief overview of Bachelor Party
Okay.
2.0.
Stop down, Sumter, South Carolina. My buddy is in the Air Force, couldn't make it to the first one that you were there for. So me and a few OG Plymouth crew guys from the 17, 18 years, every weekend I was down there, so we got kind of that crew back together. Flew down Wednesday morning to Charlotte, drove 2 hours down to Sumter, South Carolina. It's about 45 minutes east of Columbia, so you're looking like the center of South Carolina. Played a lot of golf. 9 holes on Wednesday, 18 holes
Already a great
Thursday,
trip.
18 holes Friday, almost 18 holes on Saturday. I think we played about 15 or 16
So you
holes.
could end it right there. I mean, if you had just golfing with the boys, it's already a great trip.
Yes.
Everything else is just gravy,
Excessive drinking. I haven't
course.
drank like that in a long time.
of course.
I was feeling it.
Was Dan matching you water for beer?
I don't think he was. He was riding around in the golf cart, though, so he doesn't golf. So Wednesday and Thursday, he bought a cart and just drove around behind us
Okay.
while we played.
Beast mode.
Yes. Yeah, you know Dan, and then he was making comments, and I literally looked at one of my buddies and said, I will slap him if he doesn't stop, because I just couldn't make a good shot. And he's like, great shot, Mike. I'm like, Dan, it's going so far left, I just lost the ball. That was not a good hit.
Yeah,
Ah.
so he's gonna get the game.
Yep. Yeah, so how we did for the golf was stroke play on Wednesday. We didn't even plan on playing Wednesday, but we kind of landed. We were still early. It was probably like 3 o'clock when we decided to go, and we went out at 4. 18 holes with a cart, $18.
Dude, that's not bad at all.
It was not
I mean,
a
up
well,
in here in Boston, you're paying like $65 for that. That's a good
well
deal.
when like at Ponky. I would say it's the equivalent of Ponky. $45 for Ponky.
And Ponky's green, I didn't think Ponky was as bad as you said it would, but the greens were Terrible.
That's what the greens were like at this course. It was right down the street from his house, and it was super cheap. I'm like, I don't even in an expensive course down the street. My buddy was saying it was like, I think he said like $50. He's like, that's really pricey. I'm like, $50 is a minimum at a really bad course or not a well kept course. You're paying at least $50.
Yeah.
So, and that's for a nice course down there. So, we did that. We drank a lot. Wednesday we just kind of hung out, drank. We went to Applebee's. That was interesting. Cops showed up. That was fun. Not because of us. It was because there was dude walks in to a table and it's just like, you talking shit? Well, you're about to find out. And we're all just looking around like, what is going to happen right now? It was like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Freedom of speech. Why did the cops show up?
I don't know. We didn't get involved, but we saw the cops outside. They kind of did creep in the back, talking to the manager, seeing on what was going on.
Of course.
Thursday, we drove 45 minutes Thursday night after a long round of golf. Showered, ate
before you
food.
Finish this line, don't say you drove 45 minutes to a strip club, please.
You absolutely believe we did.
Did you Uber?
No.
So you had one of your buddies drive 45 minutes, not drink, and drive 45 minutes back?
Dan.
Oh, okay, so Dan is sober.
Dan's always a designated DD.
Dan is sober. Did you guys rent a car?
Yeah, through my buddy with his company.
Okay.
And it was free, so I was like,
Well, how was the
Can't
strip
be
club?
free.
You think it was worth it? 45 minutes.
So
drive, all money you spent?
I'll tell you. So it was Cheetahs. Shout out Cheetahs.
Hold on, did they serve
In
booze
Florence,
in the
South
strip club?
Carolina, unbelievable. What?
Did they serve booze in the strip club?
Yes.
Okay, because in Tampa they don't do
Sigs
that.
inside too. Sigs inside.
Okay, well that's normal, but they don't serve booze in Tampa strip clubs because it's full nudity, for some reason.
Yeah, they were taught because I asked that question. They said no, they serve alcohol, and I was like, wait, I didn't know if there was a discrepancy if it was full. No, dude. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Were they not full nudity there?
No, they weren't.
So what the point is going to a strip club for not full nudity?
I don't get why. I don't get that rule. We should make our own and just fight the law.
How much money did you spend at the strip club?
Only a few $100, dude. It wasn't bad. We got a
Okay,
table
it's not
the
too
first
bad.
night. Clientele was good. It was so when we got in on Thursday, and we left. I think they opened at 7. We called another one. They didn't answer. The phone was disconnected, so we figured that would not be a good play. So we went to Cheetahs, unbelievable establishment, great talent, mind you. We were the only ones in there for a little while, and it did worry me. I said, this is going to be a very long night or a very short one. Both nights were very long. We got a table, which was fun. We paid, it was like $250, and we got a warm bottle of Tito's that they stuffed in a bucket of ice. And the mixers we asked for it was a small solo cup, so about that big, Diet Coke. I didn't like it. It was not for me. You knew they were trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So then got some dances. The clientele was not very selective as far as how do I say this politically correctly? Not a lot of them were white, which is not a problem for me. So start off with that. Did that for a long night, ripping cigs inside, ripping Tito's, ripping Cokes. Mostly Tito's, a little Coke. Not that Coke, the Coca-Cola.
Was that a major problem for Dan though?
So I'll get into that.
Okay.
So we have a blast. The girl I had she was very nice. I didn't catch her name. Imagine, I'm going to describe what she looked like. Imagine you take 2 Cardi B's and put them together.
Okay.
Went back for not one but multiple.
Okay.
She was fantastic. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay. How much each of them cost you?
A few songs. It was like $60 for like 3 songs or something, so $20 a song. But you had to buy in bulk. It was like BJ's. So you had to
Because every time I go to the strip club, the stripper comes up to me and grabs me, and I'm like, oh, I'm the chosen one. I'm special. She likes me. She brings me to the back. I'm like,
Made that mistake
dude,
before.
This is going extra. This is going above and beyond. Then she dances on me and tells her I owe her $100. I'm like, fuck, she got me again. She got me again every time.
You can't say no.
Yeah, you can't say no.
You can't.
Or you can't say no.
No, they literally put a spell on you.
Yeah.
It is Spooktober.
100%, dude. If you say no, your boys are gonna think you're gay too. So you gotta just eat it.
Yeah, have to.
You know what I mean?
But the one discrepancy was Dan had to get lap dances too. Dan, my buddy, for those of you who don't know, very straight edge, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, crushes Brita filtered water whenever he walks the fights. Whenever we hang out, that's all he drinks. Doesn't do any of that.
Filtered only.
So, yes. So I was very intrigued to see what his reaction was going to be. He was a champ, dude. We all went in, bought more cigs, obviously Newports. Can't get those here anymore, at least the old-fashioned ones.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, the green pack. The second night we had to get 100s. That was a little rough.
Did you guys feel like the shit, like smoking cigs, getting like lap dancing at the strip club?
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. So Thursday, Dan not only got like one round, right? Got like the few songs. He went back for seconds, dude. I was shocked.
Yeah, like you guys were like all out back, and you're like, "Wait, where's Dan?" You go back in, you sneak it in the last lap dance.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
That's what people who have no vices.
He had a
like
shit-eating
Dan,
grin on his face,
You gotta watch
too.
out, because he'll get addicted to something quick. Strippers might be his vice now.
I mean, hey, I'll be there for him.
Keep an eye on him.
I'm a friend. I'm a great friend. I'll be there for him if I
You'll be
have to.
supportive of him?
Yeah, I'll be
That's good.
super supportive. Yeah, I won't pay for his dances, but I'll go with him.
That's fair. That is
My
fair.
buddy also did jersey swap with one of the strippers. That was really funny. She had like a lace long sleeve see-through lace shirt. He had like a really funny like polo shirt, and they swapped jerseys. We got photos. They signed each other's shirts. It was that was a scene in the middle in the middle of the strip club. And then later in the night, it got really rowdy. The music was so loud, I could be right next to you talking in your ear. You would not even hear anything that was coming out of my mouth. My insides are rumbling. It was so loud in there.
Yeah, I don't like that, dude. I don't like being
Yeah,
places like that.
yeah. No, a few nice ladies walked up to me and they were like, "Oh," she was obviously asking probably if she wanted to take her to the VIP lounge, and I was like,
You were like, I can't read lips.
I literally said, "I can't hear you" 15 times. She couldn't read my lips. She just walked away, and I was like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I wasn't going to anyways, obviously, but
You should have just shoot him off.
I don't want to shoot them off. I
That'd
mean,
have been a
they're
baller
people
move.
too,
That would
so
have been a baller move.
that's really mean.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not very nice to strippers, are you?
No, I love strippers, and I respect their grind 100%. I just wish they would stop duping me for $100.
That was a great pun. Great pun. So yeah, so we did that Thursday. No, that was Friday. So we went Thursday. So Friday was that second day. I couldn't hear a goddamn thing in the place. Met a girl named Paradise. She was very nice. Also, not white. Hey, I love everybody.
Yeah, no problem
All is
here.
love, dude. All is love. Yep. So did that. Stayed out way too late. Woke up Saturday. Went to golf. And I was so hungover. I battled. It was like a 28-3 with 3 minutes left in the third. After the front nine, I was not feeling it. I wanted to concede the day. I sacked up. I got some Mick Ultras. They dug me out.
Little hair of the dog.
The hair of the dog, but I was
Yeah.
like already hitting the hangover. But I came off hot, dude. I started with like a fireball shot to start that Saturday morning. Not the best idea. I think I might have 2 in the front nine, and I like wasn't drinking.
Well, how'd you play?
Like shit, dude.
Okay.
Awful. Absolutely terrible.
I was gonna say maybe if you're nasty at playing hungover, you want to get fucked up beforehand every time you golf.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
we were
not.
up early. We agreed on like 11 o'clock tee times every day. We were out on the course like no later than 10. So like that extra hour of sleep and like prep time. But it was fun though. So the golf tournament part was really good because we did the stroke play on Wednesday for 9 holes. Best 2 players get a coin flip on who picks their scramble partner for the week. I was the first pick. No, and I played the worst score. Thursday we did 2v2 scramble, but each team could pick if they wanted to do 2 free mulligans for their own team, 2 reverse mulligans to use on the other team, so you have to play back your shot, or you could have 1 of 1. Both teams went 1 and 1. We ended up using both reverse mulligans on the same hole, back-to-back shots. I put a 7-iron so close to that pin. I mean, it was a good. It was probably 130 yards out. Took my 7-iron. I'm going crazy. Play it back. Hook it left. Next shot, or 2 shots on the other team, my buddy put it in the hole. He was probably 100 yards out. He skimmed it through the sand trap, up and over, dunked it. Had to play it back. So that was fun. Playing the reverse mulligan I really liked. And then on Friday and Saturday, we did advantage, disadvantage for every hole you play. You spin a wheel, you win the hole, you spin the wheel for advantage and disadvantage. We weighted it more for the advantage. So the advantage would be like you can cut a putt in half, you can hit from the reds, whatever you spin on that wheel. And like a disadvantage would be like you can only play 3 clubs, you have to double a putt, we had like all different ones. So that I thought that was the funnest part about all the golf was playing the advantage disadvantage. It did pace of play was kind of an issue. Saturday ended up being an issue. Ended up leaving a little early, but that bachelor party was a blast until the flight home. As soon as we landed at Boston Logan Airport, I waltzed myself right to the bathroom and proceeded to puke in the toilet.
You held up the whole flight, though.
I held up the whole flight. I didn't know I was going to puke until I was sitting outside the bathroom, and I was just like, hand over the mouth. I was like kind of like hustling a little bit. Had to tap a dude on the shoulder. He turned around, not knowing what was going on, and he just like skidded right out of my way. I was like, oh, thank God.
He saw your face. He was like, this guy's about to fucking.
Yeah, he's like, I almost got puked on. I was like, you certainly did, sir. You certainly did.
You're like, it's not too late, buddy. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And then, and then I drove home, and then I came here, and then I proceeded to just wither away in my bed and just cower away and didn't move. And I had a really bad cough as well, probably other cigs. Called out of work.
I call that a successful bachelor party.
That was a successful bachelor party.
If you don't come back deathly hungover, you didn't have a good bachelor
No,
party.
exactly. And that was the thing.
shot.
Saturday night was such a battle. Everyone was talking trash to me, and I was just like nursing an RBV at the bar, and I was just like, oh my God.
Were they talking trash to you because you tried to go to bed at 1 a.m. like you did at the bachelor party I was on?
Everybody else went to bed. Oh, yeah, dude. Well, I knew I was trying to pace myself. So, okay, fine. And I also, the best part was...
His own bachelor party, 1 a.m., comes out in his fucking wife beater. I'm going to bed, guys.
Hey, I was fine
You know
the
who
next
stayed
day.
up till 4? Dan, sober, with me. Beast.
You were up later. I woke up at like 5, and you were on your phone in the fetal position with couch cushions in the kitchen.
Yeah, I was too excited to sleep that night.
You wanted the party to keep going.
Yeah,
you should have stayed the second night.
I ended up just leaving at like 6. Probably shouldn't have drove home that early, but I was like, fuck, I can't sleep, dude.